If you tell me a story, I try to tell a better story. I'm like, I got a better story than that, Donald. Like I should not. That's why I shouldn't watch politics.
He'd love you.
He would love me.
Yeah.
He has a soft spot for black people. I'm about to say that. It's well known. He'll like buy their mortgage, randomly give them, double their pay because they're an old black lady. He has a thing for black people. It's just well known for his crew. Because they're his crew. Other businessmen, he wants to battle them. But I was going to say something. What was your point about Trump? If you're a globalist, I'm really exhausted, but it's 5 a.m. If you're a globalist.
It's been a crazy 48 hours in the aftermath of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and as you can imagine, it's the hot topic on all the top podcasts. As you saw in the intro, Tim Dillon scheduled an emergency podcast with Alex Jones to get his perspective on what's going on, which made for one of the best Tim Dillon Show episodes so far this year.
Alex Jones is with us. He's the only guy that I could really think of that I wanted to talk to about this and what's going on.
By the end of the 45-minute episode, Alex was struggling to get a sentence out because he'd been smashing straight vodka the entire time. So I'll show you the best parts from that conversation, but even our boy Bupper the business shark got in on the action with his very own personal story about how he found out what had happened.
And Bossy comes running up and goes, Dad, because he just overhears in the car. And he goes, Trunk got shot. Trunk is dead. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, Trunk's dead. And I'm like, Trunk dead? And Joanna's like, you haven't seen the news? I'm like, no, I haven't been on my phone at all. I left it in the dugout. She's like, yeah, Trump got shot. I'm like, are you guys messing with me right now? She's like, no, he got shot. I'm like, he's dead? She's like, no, like grazed his ear. I'm like, why is he saying Trunk is dead? She's like, I don't know. He's crazy. And I was like, Bosty. And he wouldn't drop it all day. Like we'd be talking about baseball. He'd come like, did you hear Trunk got shot? I'm like, hey, dude. Hey, man. And he just kept bringing up, I go, bud, you're 4. This is not stuff you should be interested in or talking about. But it's just like.
That awkward moment when you realize that your 4-year-old son is better at trolling than you are. Thank him, B. But we're not here to shit on Brandon today because Tom and Bert dropped a banked episode but tried to get some traction with the title and thumbnail using Donald Trump's name and photo. Obviously, it's the trending topic at the moment, so somebody at YMH Studios thought it would be a good idea to get a bit of that Donald traffic, except it backfired. The most liked comment on YouTube says, let's find a pre-recorded episode in the vault that mentions Trump so it can seem topical. It's become common knowledge that YMH Studios bank episodes sometimes months in advance so that they can stick to their weekly upload schedule when they're on tour or on holidays, etc. But the irony is this episode was actually recorded just last week, so it actually wasn't one of their worst banking offenses, and I should say I have noticed recently that they're trying to record more episodes of Two Bears from Bert's LA studio instead of just the normal YMH studios in Austin, so it seems like they're trying to keep their episodes as recent as possible after we all started complaining about their podcast being outdated by the time they drop. But let's take a look at how they tried to capitalize on the Trump bandwagon but failed miserably. It started with a story from their guest Little Rel.
It's so crazy because I liked him a lot and when we hung out and met, and then like recently I didn't realize he was like a huge Trump supporter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Flocka?
Yeah, it's a whole thing now. It's been like viral for the last week or so. And I was like, it's shocking to me. I'm like,
a huge supporter?
Like a huge. He's like, man, if you vote for Joe Biden, get the fuck out my show. He literally told people to leave his rap.
That's hilarious.
Which is a rap concert.
Yeah.
Like, most people who love rap is Democrats, I thought.
Yeah, probably.
So if you vote for Joe Biden, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And that's in the hood. Everybody like, I ain't voting at all. So what the fuck that mean? Like, I ain't going nowhere.
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew.
Okay, so they started a new segment titled Whack a Flock of Flame, Old Politicians, Donald Trump at 26 minutes and 48 seconds. And then as you just saw there, they threw in an ad read for Blue Chew before they got to the main part. Then when they got back from the ad, Bert got into a story about how he was invited to the National Republic Convention, which led back to Donald Trump.
I got invited to the Republican National Convention. They wanted me to go as like a influencer. And I was like, absolutely. And Leanne was like, absolutely not. You are the Billy Bush motherfucker that'll get caught going, yeah, grab her in the pussy. Like, I just can't help it. I don't like confrontation. So whatever anyone says, I just agree with.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
So if you would have been like, yo, grab him by the, you're like, hell yeah.
oh, easy. Wait, so wait,
He would have yes-anded that shit. Yeah.
I'd have been like, I'll tell, because I tell story. If you tell me a story, I try to tell a better story. I'm like, I got a better story than that, Donald. Like, I should not. That's why I shouldn't watch politics.
He'd love you.
He would love me.
Yeah.
Kim
Yeah,
Jong-
he would have you on a roll with him, like, dude, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I need you with me.
Yep. He'd be like,
Bert's here, everyone.
join my cabinet.
Do you know how
Join
great
my
I could-
cabinet.
He goes, just bring me up on stage. I go, I got you, buddy.
You would say yes to that.
Yeah. Dude, I'd bring Kim Jong-un on stage. You'd be shocked who I'd say. You'd be shocked where I'd draw the line. Like, I would have been the guy hanging out with Muammar Gaddafi, going like, yeah, let's put on the robes.
And that was it. The title of the episode, Trump Loves Bert and Trump in the Thumbnail, was all for that little discussion about how Tom and Bert reckon he would love Bert. Now, it's not the worst thing they've done, but when you consider their last few episodes, the podcast is just getting worse and worse. They've basically hit a new low and they're struggling to maintain relevance and get the views that they used to. Now they're clutching at straws to jump on the latest trends. But we'll get to those other bits and pieces in a moment because I want to show you how Tim Dillon hit 1 million views within 12 hours with Alex Jones by actually scrambling and putting in the effort to create entertaining content. At least someone still knows what a comedy podcast is.
They want to kill Trump now even more because this just gave him 20 points. He's not, all these Democrats are now voting Trump. He's not going to win by 10 points. He's going to win by 30 points. He got shot in the side of the head, perfect hole right through his ear, quarter inch over, right in the temple. This is so epic. So what is the deep state going to do? The deep state has truck bombs loaded in Florida. They have truck bombs, in my opinion, loaded in Wisconsin. The next move is roll a truck full of plastic explosives into the event. They're also going to try to poison him. They got people inside his organization. So poisoning, truck bombs, shootings is all in the works. Also, they've been pre-programming cyber attacks by the Russians, claiming they're working with Trump supporters. The FBI already put out reports last year saying the Russians working with Trump supporters are going to cut the U.S. power off. But it gets worse. They will also, and this is totally.
I love how you go. You go truck bombs, power outages, and then you go, and it gets worse. Like it's crazy to think about getting it. And I understand what you're saying. It's so wild to think about this. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I want to be 1,000,000,000% clear.
Yeah,
I'm not doing this for sensational reasons.
No, for sure.
So as you could see there, Alex was in full flight. He was smashing straight vodka for the whole episode, and it seemed to be slowly kicking in as they went along.
They came to my office. I had to get security, which it's been insane. Now, the reason I raised that is, what was your first? I went down around
about Biden and about what do you think is going to happen and what's your read on that? I mean, that's obviously this terrible story that happened to Trump. But
the biggest threat to Trump is them poisoning his food. And that's why Trump's a great guy, okay? He's a nice guy. He's always a big temper. He takes care of everybody. He has a soft spot for black people. I'm about to say that. It's well known. He'll like buy their mortgage, randomly give them, double their pay because they're an old black lady. He has a thing for black people. It's just well known for his crew. Because they're his crew. Other businessmen, he wants to battle them. But I was going to say something. What was your point about Trump?
You truly are deeply misunderstood, and people talk about you. They don't understand that you have a libertarian streak, that you're a lover of freedom, as we can see right now. You deeply care about the country.
The average CIA analyst cannot wipe their own ass. It's like Chuck E. Schumer a month ago at Father's Day couldn't cook a hamburger. He has a raw hamburger with a piece of cheese on it. These people are aliens. And so they thought they'd intimidated America, Tim.
And then by the very end of the podcast, Alex was on Struggle Street.
If you're a globalist, I'm really exhausted, but it's about I am. Yeah. If you're a globalist, they're in full panic mode.
Yeah, it's scary stuff. Definitely appreciate you coming on to talk about this. How are you going to be at the convention?
Tim, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm prepared to die.
That was honestly the best episode of the Tim Dillon Show I've seen in a while. I don't usually cover it on this channel because it's just a legitimately funny comedy podcast, but if you have time, you should definitely go and watch that episode with Alex Jones. Seriously, I reckon there's at least 3 potential lawsuits just from that one episode. For now, though, let's get back to the seemingly never-ending downfall of Two Bears, One Cave. Like I said earlier, clickbaiting using Donald Trump's name and image in the aftermath of his assassination attempt isn't the worst crime in the world, but if you put it in context with some of their other recent episodes, they're basically just taking a giant dump on their fans every week at this point. And just to give you an idea of exactly what I'm talking about, I've put together a very special edit that will possibly break you. Now, I don't often do this, it's probably only the 3rd time that I have done it, but I made a cringe compilation from last week's Two Bears episode, and if you can make it through without pausing or skipping ahead, let me know in the comments below and I'll give you a special podcast cringe love heart to mark your strength and courage. So this whole episode was pulling up all the most famous serial killers that were sentenced to death and sampling their last meal requests live on air. And as per usual, it was a complete flop. People were not happy. Listening to Bert smack his food into a microphone really ruined my day. Eating fried chicken in the mic was the most disgusting sound. This was even worse than Bert's attempt at accents. Bert chews like someone imitating a R-word chewing. Eating mic'd up is definitely my most hated sound in the world, and Bert has mastered it. Effing brutal. Yeah, out of all the disgusting things Bert has done before, this has to rank in the top 3, along with Bert shitting himself on stage and showing it to the crowd. Anyway, enjoy.
First of all, I can't believe you ate fried chicken with a fork.
Well, I didn't want to get my hands dirty.
Okay.
Okay.
Like that, and then...
Good. Here you go.
That is so goddamn good. That is, fried chicken delivers every fucking time. Fried chicken's like wet pussy.
It is. It's a great analogy.
Any wet pussy, and you're like, God damn it, it's still good.
It's so good.
This is a salami sandwich and mustard.
Yeah.
What if we eat this and we start turning into serial killers?
Oh, we're just like, this is the best sandwich in the world. Okay, hold on. I mean, you deal with it. It's not like...
Not my last meal.
No. So, hold on.
I would have had a crust cut off.
Oh, man, he did something crazy.
This is a good fucking sandwich.
You know?
Oh, my God. Can we have a fried chicken moment? When you get the corner and it's just overly breaded skin.
Yeah.
And it's just skin and bread. That's the best bite of fried chicken. Oh man, I am gonna like a wolf tonight. I haven't had this kind of food in so long. It's so good.
You do a lot of night sets?
No. I had the appetite of a serial killer.
Yeah. Your house and food. Do you run this morning?
Uh-oh.
I ran this morning. Hated it.
I took the day off. Oh, fuck.
Oh, there he is.
He looks like a fucking serial killer.
Ah.
I fucking love cottage cheese.
I literally can't look over at
I
you.
bet if you put some peach in the cottage cheese.
Ah.
How much cottage cheese can I put in my mouth to make you throw up?
I mean, I'm almost there.
All right. love cottage cheese.
Really?
I love cottage cheese.
Oh,
There's food everywhere. I love cottage cheese. I think I got an old woman's palate sometimes.
Oh, that is messed up. I actually started to feel sick when I was editing that, so if you actually made it through without pausing or skipping ahead, then you are an absolute trooper. And the annoying thing is that it wasn't incidental or anything like that. It's not like they were just taste testing last meal requests and the mic picked up some of their chewing sounds. Tom was actually moving away from the mic and chewing with his mouth closed, but you could see that Bert was purposely pulling the mic up to his mouth and then smacking his lips so everyone could hear him chewing. He is such a fucking grub, he seriously needs a reality check. But then going back to the episode before that, the trend of trolling their audience continued. That's the episode with Jimmy Kimmel as their guest, and the comments were absolutely brutal. Just came to see how many people hate Jimmy Kimmel, it's a lot. Here for the negative comments. It's gotten to the point where there are people paying an additional $1.99 to talk shit in a members only section. I mean, they're basically turning into Brendan Schaub now. Not only is their whole comment section just people piling on hate, but some of them are even paying money so they can talk shit on the members' videos. And they obviously know this, right? But for some reason, they just keep leaning into the hate and baiting their audience.
How was the roast experience for you guys?
Terrifying.
Was it? Yeah.
I got fuckface sitting next to me going, we're about to bomb. We're about to bomb. We're going to eat a dick. We're going to she stole it. She stole it. I woke up the next morning and then I got a bunch of videos of people making fun of me reading people's prompter, which I go, it is funny. Then there's a part of me that goes, well, I wish I was cooler. I wish I hadn't done that. But then there's a part of you going, okay, I'm just a fucking comic.
It's rare that I feel like wounded by something that I see online. But the last time I felt very wounded was after I went to your guys' show and you guys posted some pictures with me and all your fans fucking hate me.
No.
I'm sure you noticed. I mean, it was so overwhelming.
I definitely noticed.
You must have noticed.
I said, Tom, have you posted your pictures yet? I take the ones that Kimmel out.
There's this group amongst fans that are always the loudest.
Yeah, I know. It's only like 95, 90, 98%.
Yeah.
Well, there's an idea, I think, that like somehow I betrayed this group of men that in comedy. Like somehow I was the man. But I was always exactly like this. Exactly. Always.
Yeah. But you realize
the
that
content of the show was different. But
that hate that goes your way is because you stood up for healthcare. Like they're just mad that you actually used your platform for something good that offends them. For
I don't
whatever.
know if it's that. I think it's. I think it is.
You've busted Trump's balls.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I think they. Usually people like busting balls in general, whatever it is. But I think what it is there's this idea that I somehow made an adjustment in order to be part of Hollywood or something.
Yeah.
Which is just really not true. And also that I have some level of like political correctness. And well, obviously there are things I care about and whatever, but when it comes to comedy, I don't care what anybody does. I mean, I've never criticized another comic for what they never.
See, the thing I took from that wasn't anything necessarily about Jimmy Kimmel. He's just a Hollywood douchebag that parrots whatever his puppet masters say to him. He knows it, we know it, there's nothing new there. The problem for me is that Tom still thinks that it's only a minority of his audience that are the haters. He was trying to say there that it's a loud minority, and then Kimmel actually corrected him by saying, yeah, it's only 95 or 98%. I seriously think that more than half the views that Tom and Bert get are people just hate watching. It's like a car crash that you can't look away from, and I actually think it's Tom that's more delusional in this instance than Bert is. Bert knows he's a lolcow. He acknowledges it on almost every episode these days, but Tom is still under the illusion that he's a famous celebrity with a massive fan base. And I was thinking about this the other day. How do these guys still sell out theaters and even arenas when most of their social media engagement is basically hate? Obviously, they still have a large group of fans who love them and think they're funny who buy their tickets, but when you consider how big their online reach is, when you do the actual math, you realize they don't really need a very high conversion rate to sell out a venue. For example, they might reach a few million people per month online, but when they do a comedy tour, their audience is diluted by people who are there to see their openers, like with Bert's Fully Loaded tour. But if they can convert just 10% of their monthly online audience into ticket sales, that's hundreds of thousands of tickets, right? So yeah, that was just something I was thinking about the other day because I see so many people asking how they're still selling out arenas when it seems like everyone hates them, and I think the answer is that their reach is just so big that they can still have massive comedy careers at the same time as copying so much online hate. And that goes for their comedy specials as well. There would be a bunch of their comedy fans out there that don't watch their podcast and just watch their comedy clips here and there online and go to their shows when they're in town. But that's my breakdown of the latest episode of Two Bears, One Cave, as well as a little bit of a look back on their recent podcasts. Remember to check out the link in the description to my Patreon if you want to see some of my uncensored content. Part 3 of my Tony Hinchcliffe Kill Tony series will be dropping soon, so go and check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, if you're not a regular of this channel yet, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you ended up enjoying this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
Let's talk about dieting for a second and eating right, okay? So I just did my special and I was eating very clean for 2 months. For 2 months, I ate perfectly clean. Protein, I drank. I'm not a
And you ate perfectly clean.
I was down in the 220s for my special.
Okay.
I was eating perfect. And I noticed I didn't have any stomach problems. I didn't have anxiety. Like I was just doing really well. Then I shoot my special and I'm on Instagram and I'm just looking at cheeseburgers going, I'm fucking food up.
Yeah.
I'm fucking food up.
I like when Bert goes, and then when I got sober, so everyone's like, oh, so you're sober. He's like, no. I got sober for a couple months.
Yeah, just to get healthy.
Yeah.
The best, healthiest food isn't the food that's always consumed.
Right.
The food that makes you feel good
Yeah.
is what gets consumed.
Right.
But sometimes that food that makes you feel good can be bad for you
Yeah.
and bad for society in a whole.
And we're back with an absolute disaster of a podcast from Andy and the Toy Story Boys. Schultz and his epiphanies are getting out of control. Get this, Andrew just discovered the art of grifting. That's right, one of the biggest grifters in the podcasting universe just discovered the subtle art of grifting. And then in one of the most brilliant examples of pure irony you've ever seen, he proceeded to explain it to us without realizing that he was describing himself exactly.
And the really shrewd grifters keep on changing their grift with culture. And they're constantly adjusting. All of a sudden, they're talking about this new thing. And all of a sudden, they're talking about another thing. And all of a sudden, and they've never spoken about it before, but they're really passionate about it all of a sudden. When I see that, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is committed to the grift. And sometimes they don't even know they are. They see themselves as heroic.
Okay, between this guy and Bert Kreischer, there is now a fierce competition for the biggest lolcow on the internet. But let's take a step back and have a look at how all of this started. On this week's episode of Flagrant, they continued the trend of no guest. 4 of their last 5 episodes have been just Andy and his boy band sitting around and smelling each other's farts. And so after they fumbled their way through the Kendrick-Drake rap beef, which I'll come back to later, they go into the topics of grifting, free speech, and politics. Now, it seems to me like there might be some frustration building due to their numbers falling off. In April last year, they hit just over 11 million views for the month, whereas this year they got just over 7 million, which is still a great number, but obviously having a 40% drop can create some anxiety, especially when you've got all your buddies on the payroll. There's a similar thing going on over at YMH Studios. In the new year, they dropped Dr. Drew's podcast, and just this week, we saw Tom and Bert making a fake apology in an attempt to bounce back from all the hate they've been getting, which is no doubt affecting their ad revenue. And there's also Brendan Business Shark Schaub, who keeps redefining the phrase rock bottom. But as for Schultz and his gang of yes men, they're trying to pitch their downfall as some sort of moral achievement.
But one thing that's really fun about, I think, our podcast is we like to indulge in the crazy conspiratorial shit, right? We have Billy Carson on, and I'll be honest, 90% of the shit he was saying is probably bullshit, right? Like, I'm literally watching it, I'm like, there's no f***ing way, but I love it, it's fun, it's interesting. I'm like watching an episode of like sci-fi. Maybe 20%, maybe 40% is real. Maybe there's some truth into it, but who f***ing knows? I'm not going like, these are the facts, right? Even Graham Hancock's on, all these other guys, I'm like, tell me what this could be and let's just indulge. It's a fun little fantasy, right? And I like indulging it. But I also think that we'll have people on where we go, hey, tell us what you think of the world. And because we're interested in truth, we're interested in ideas that go against the grain for sure. But we're also interested in what we might feel is the truth. And then we take all these different ideas and we kind of balance them. And being comedians, we kind of maybe are more intrigued by something that hasn't been said. We're intrigued by like a line of thinking that isn't necessarily our own. Even if we disagree with it, we're like, ooh, no, he's kind of spitting. What the fuck is that? The Anunnaki is here? Okay, maybe there's Anunnaki. Like, we like going outside of our emotions. And if you all of a sudden jump over, because you're like, oh, I just need the views, I need to do it. We could have on a different version of Billy Carson every single week, and it would be 5 million view episode every single time. That's not what the show is.
Yeah.
We like indulging in that, and then we want to speak to some guy running for president. Like, that's what's fun. Because we like the different ideas, and I think we curated an audience that, for the most part, also enjoys that.
Yeah.
They like indulging in the wild shit, but then they also want to hear some truth and some real shit. It's so easy to just make money doing that.
Yeah.
It really is, but it is a choice.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like Schultz is trying to convince himself that the reason their views are on the decline is because they're keeping it real, and this seems to be a trend across a lot of these kinds of podcasts. They end up having their internal production meetings on the podcast instead, and they call it good content. But if you look at their recent uploads, you can see exactly why they're discussing this now. Like I said, they seem to be finding it harder and harder to get guests on, and the episodes where it's just them don't do nearly as well. The Billy Carson episode from last week has 1.5 million views, JJ Redick got them over 1 million views, and the CIA's second biggest grifter, Andrew Bustamante, racked up almost 3 million views for them. Shout out to Mike Baker. And so if you compare that to their episodes with no guest, you can see how big the difference is. Basically, a guest episode is worth several times more than a non-guest episode. And when you're only doing one episode per week on YouTube, it really adds up. Joe Rogan, on the other hand, punches out several episodes per week, and he has almost no staff. So for him to have a few episodes that bomb here and there, it's not as much of a problem. But instead of realizing that his operation has gotten too big and he needs to start making some cuts or putting more effort into getting better guests on there, Schultz turned the whole situation into an epiphany about grifting.
The internet is a fascinating thing. And Mark and I were discussing this, but which is like, before the internet, if you wanted to grift, right, you had to figure out the grift. How do you figure out the grift? You don't know how many people are reading an article in the newspaper. Maybe you knew how many books were sold. But
you got to write a whole book.
You got to write a whole book. But even before you write the book, you got to see if this book is really being sold a lot and where is it being sold. Now, not only does the internet tell you where the grifts are, it tells you from the content you're making what you can grift on. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the algorithm.
And the views are right there, so you know how big the audience is.
So the algorithm pushes you in the direction of what it wants you to create, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have like some real integrity in yourself as a creative, if all you want is success, if all you want is numbers, it's very easy to just kind of follow that. And I think that's what a lot of people will end up doing.
So let's just get this straight. Andrew Schultz has one of the biggest and most successful podcasts on the planet. He's been creating content across social media for years, and he built a stand-up comedy career off the back of his viral crowd work clips, as well as his appearances on JRE. And only now, almost halfway through 2024, he finally realized that he has to actually be creative to stay relevant instead of just relying on Papa Rogan to continuously promote him through his podcast. But then he got onto grifting and comedy, and he complained about other comedians copying the formula that he used to go viral.
You even see it like in comedy, right? Like, we'll put out some stand-up clips, then we put out a special, and then we put out the crowd work stuff. And then when people saw that was popular, they're like, oh, I'm going to put out crowd work now. I'm chasing what I think the people like instead of creating the thing that you want to create.
Yeah.
And then they'll even like complain that they got to do it. And it's like, fam, go invent some shit, loser. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Don't do it.
why don't you create the next trend that people do instead of begrudgingly following the thing because you are a slave to the algorithm? Create the new algorithm, you know?
Yeah.
But the algorithm will dictate to the weak-minded creatives what they should be creating because all they want is numbers. They don't want actual, true, authentic creation. And in a way, the people that are consuming are actually manipulating the creators and not the grifters manipulating the innocent people.
Okay, hold up. So first it was the grifter's fault, then it was the fault of the comedians who are copying his formula, and now it's our fault. Oh, that's great. And speaking of comedy grifts, remember this, Schultz?
Holy shit, The Rock just reposted.
My boy changed comedy twice.
Andrew Schultz is saving comedy.
Netflix is done.
They're not done.
Done.
What are you talking
Done.
about?
They reach out to you and they're like, we want you to cut a couple jokes out.
The audience is the one that gives me the notes.
What's up, people?
That's the fun thing. You gotta do something crazy.
You gotta on her back. That's why they call them wetbacks. Now, guys, everybody, we're just getting started, guys. We're just getting started, okay?
So I've covered this in detail previously in my video titled The Comedy Special Scam Nobody's Talking About, so you can go and check that out if you want the full breakdown. Basically, Andrew Schultz said he had a deal with a streamer for his comedy special titled Infamous, but then after one of the shows, they apparently told him to cut out a couple of the jokes that were deemed too offensive to show on their streaming service. He never named who the streaming service was, but there's speculation it was Amazon, but there's even been speculation that there was never any deal in the first place, and Schultz concocted a fake cancellation to promote his comedy special, which you now had to buy off his website within a 2-week window.
This is the crazy thing about it, because I understand somewhat the network wants to like take it down, and I'm grateful I was even able to buy it back. Okay, that's awesome. I put it out myself, right? And I put it out on my website, and I'm only putting it out for 2 weeks. Okay, there's a 2-week window where you can buy it. It stops, I think, August 1st or July 31st.
Why'd you decide 2 weeks though?
Urgency. I saw these amazing comics put specials up on like a platform like Netflix, and it just like, it's a fart in the wind. Like people go, oh, I'll get to it eventually. Oh, it's there forever.
There's
I'll get to
so much
it.
content.
It's so much, and there's no urgency. I wanted a pay-per-view event. I mean, that's what I want it to be. I want it to be pay-per-view. I want it to be like a fight.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we call it pay-per-view. You'll have it forever, but like I want all of us watching it together when it comes out and tweeting about it together and talking.
And we're doing the
together,
after party. So like go to theandrewschultz.com.
Oh yeah, just go to the website and then there's a click and it'll take you to Moment House. And shout out to Moment House. Moment House is a company that we're working with, and also they've done other versions of like live shows. So you'll be able to watch the special. It'll exist there for 2 weeks, and then we're gonna email everybody who orders a special a private link of it, so you'll have it forever. So when you get it, you just get it forever.
Okay, yeah.
We're also talking to Moment House, and we might just keep it up there in perpetuity, so you can have that or the link. But yeah, I know it says the 2 weeks, maybe that's confusing, but you'll just have this special forever.
So then a few weeks after Schultz's pay-per-view special was released on his website, he uploaded it onto his YouTube channel for free. This has to be one of the biggest comedy grifts in recent history, but I'm not going to go over it again here. My point is, when it comes to shameless grifting, Andrew Schultz takes the cake. Only a few weeks ago, he was back on JRE again, saying how there's no censorship and comedians can basically say whatever they want now.
This is a great time for comedy, man.
Yeah.
I think it might be the best time ever.
Of
I
course.
really do. I think this is legitimately the golden age of comedy.
We're in it.
Because it's fun, because comedy's dangerous again.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, there's so many people that want to restrict what people can and can't talk about. That's unique.
I feel like the restriction is less now.
Really?
Yeah.
Right now, currently.
Like in today, I feel like we can kind of say anything.
But back to this grifting discussion, they eventually got lost so far down the rabbit hole that they started describing themselves without even realizing it.
This has never happened before. Think about that. Back in the day, in order to grift, you had to get lucky.
Yo, this is why you can't, whenever one of the truth comes out on one of these red pill guys and you're like, oh, that's the end of him. It's not the end of him because
He'll
the
find
audience,
a new grift.
Well, the audience still wants to hear that content. So they don't care if you X, Y, and Z
Exactly.
you did.
It was
you're
never about
phony.
him.
Just keep feeding me the content I want to see.
That's the thing. It's never about the person. It's about the utility that person offers you.
Yeah.
What you need is your feelings satisfied and validated.
Yeah.
And as long as that person satisfies and validates them, then he's still useful to you.
Yeah.
A lot of times these people don't even love the grifters. They don't care about them. They just satisfy them emotionally. The second the grifters change or culture changes, they're like, fuck that guy. We don't need that guy. Or fuck that girl. We don't need that girl. And the really shrewd grifters keep on changing their grift with culture. And they're constantly adjusting. All of a sudden, they're talking about this new thing. And all of a sudden, they're talking about another thing. And all of a sudden, and they've never spoken about it before, but they're really passionate about it all of a sudden. When I see that, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is committed to the grift. And sometimes they don't even know they are. They see themselves as heroic.
Okay, that has to be the best explanation I've seen so far on what a Schultz epiphany is. He just described his own epiphanies. It's almost unbelievable. The Flagrant podcast has just become Schultz pretending to be interested in current events and giving his hot takes about everything and anything, even when he's done little to no research or simply has no idea what's going on. Take, for example, his ongoing commentary about the Kendrick-Drake beef. Here are some of the comments from this episode. Never try to break down Kendrick lyrics again. Your reading the Kendrick lyrics sounds like you're trying to do a test you didn't study for. I feel like if a diss track has radio play, it's a better diss. Mark, don't let this man ever speak on rap again. Andrew trying to break down Kendrick was like listening to nails on chalkboards. I promise you guys don't have to talk about hip-hop ever again. You'll need to stay in your lane and don't ever talk about lyrics or break them down anymore, and don't ever ask Al, as you're forgetting he's just the token on his podcast. I'm starting to see more and more of these comments on different episodes when they try to break something down they have no clue about. I remember back when Max Verstappen controversially beat Lewis Hamilton to the Formula One World Drivers' Championship in 2021, and the Flagrant crew did a breakdown of what happened and absolutely butchered it to pieces. That seems to be all these guys do now. Every episode is just clutching at whatever's trending and fumbling their way through it and giving their hot takes, which more often than not, they've just stolen from someone else. So when it comes to grifting as a podcaster or as a comedian, even as a pseudo-philosopher, Andrew Schultz takes the cake. Now, the thing that I don't understand, and I've said this before about Rogan as well, is that these guys have the money, time, and resources to get the right people on and have proper discussions about whatever they like. Instead, they get all these grifters on to give their half-baked theories on everything and anything, and then hide behind the line, "We're just asking questions," or "We're just talking, it's just a conversation." Both Schultz and Rogan have had Graham Hancock on their podcasts. Rogan had him on over a dozen times, yet all of his theories have been completely debunked by multiple scientists and historians. Same with Bart Sabrell, who recently appeared on JRE to discuss the moon landing hoax theory. All of his talking points and so-called evidence have already been thoroughly debunked. So, I'm not saying they shouldn't be on JRE or Flagrant. Rogan and Schultz can book whoever they like, but to pretend that they're just asking questions and trying to get to the bottom of something, well, it just doesn't make sense. The truth is, they know that it gets the views. Schultz just said it himself. We saw him say it. We've seen when Rogan has a real scientist on the podcast who doesn't have sensational half-baked theories, it's boring as hell. Remember Ray Kurzweil? Rogan kept goading him into his end of days theory, how AI is going to destroy humanity, it's only a matter of time, but Ray wouldn't bite, and it ended up being one of the most boring episodes of JRE we've ever seen. So I think it's fine to have these conversations for entertainment and to pass the time or whatever. I still enjoy most of them, don't get me wrong, I watch them to the end, but for Schultz to pretend that he's holding himself to a higher moral standard than all the other grifters on social media, that has to be one of the funniest things he's ever said. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my Patreon as well. I'll be uploading the Brendan Schaub lawsuit appeal update over the weekend. There's also a couple of videos there already and much more to come, so don't miss out on those. And if you're not a regular of this channel yet, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you ended up enjoying this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.
It's crazy out here, dog. It's really wild out here.
Yeah, but it is good to have these convos because I think it is like uncharted territory for us old dudes. Like you probably grew up with this, but us old dudes that are like, we're kind of analyzing and seeing how this is working in real time. Information was very easy for us growing up.
Yeah.
What I feel now with information
Overwhelmed.
is overwhelmed. When I was young, I knew everything.
Yeah.
I knew nothing, but I had the illusion of feeling like I knew everything. You're talking about my kid, man. Like, I have to screenshot you, know who you are, and if I ever see you,
You can't play with it. Yeah, you can't play with it. No, I'm with you. 100%. That's why I don't feel no remorse.
I feel
for Drake.
no remorse. Like,
Because
yo,
anybody-
you talked
he
about
should've-
someone's child,
should've
bro.
learned-
But now they make it racist. They try to make me a pal. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
This was hilarious.
It's like
No, this we gotta talk.
Oh, yeah.
This was next level. So one of my exes, she
Andrew Schulz is balls deep in this beef with Kendrick Lamar, and it doesn't seem to be cooling off anytime soon. It started off with a joke about black women being angry, then Kendrick called out Schultz's black friends for letting him talk shit about them, so Schultz hit back by saying he would make love to Kendrick and there's nothing he could do to stop him. I covered all the details in my last video, but as usual, things have gotten worse. Now Kendrick's fans are out in full force digging up old dirt on Schultz. Someone with deep pockets put out an offer of $250 per person to protest outside Schultz's next show in Hawaii. And Andrew hasn't been quiet either. He's been going hard on social media, pointing out the hypocrisy in the hip-hop community, so I'll show you all those details in a moment, but there was one thing that caught me off guard. This was something I hadn't heard about before until now, and it's the allegations against Schultz by an ex-girlfriend of his that she made back in December of 2020. And I'm not going to lie here, guys, it's pretty fucked up. I honestly don't know what to make of it, and Andrew's response in this week's episode of Flagrant just made me even more suspicious. And this is how things go, right? Compared to how it started, it's turned into a full-blown cancellation war against Andrew Schultz. And I think what people don't seem to understand is that all this shit is going to do is just make Schultz more popular. He'll go on Rogan's podcast soon and they'll blow up the free speech doll and play the victim card. Schultz will claim he's being cancelled, so you'd better go out and watch his special. Otherwise, the sky will fall and we'll all be forced into concentration camps. His fans will eat it up, he'll have another multi-million-dollar payday, and then he'll gloat about how much money he made, rinse and repeat. But I want to get to these fucked up allegations against Schultz and his strange response to them on this week's episode of Flagrant. It started off with Andy and the Toy Story boys calling out all the misinformation around the timing of his recordings, and this is actually really interesting because on the last episode of Brilliant Idiots over the weekend, Schultz revealed the truth behind his SA joke against Kendrick, which made the whole situation make a little bit more sense. See, at first it just seemed like a weird-ass comeback to Kendrick calling him out for talking shit about black women. You know, it was meant to be an edgy and controversial joke, cause comedian, but it turns out that Schultz and his buddies were getting death threats, and Andrew drew the line at threats against his 10-month-old daughter. So knowing that context now, it makes sense why Schultz went so hard with that joke about making love to Kendrick. It was his strange way of countering all the hate and threats they'd been getting for weeks.
there's this clip that they're going around trying to say that I'm like being a victim now. Do you have this shit? They can play that shit.
I've been posting shit, like telling me they're gonna take out my family on like pictures of my child, my daughter.
God.
You surprised by this? This is the nature of the game.
And social media.
Yeah, it's social media. It's like, but he says that line. He says
ready?
that line.
Pause.
His
So Andrew So says multiple Kendrick Lamar fans have threatened to kill his family over sexual assault joke.
Yeah. That last 6 words or whatever.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So what people don't know is that this was recorded before I ever said anything to Kendrick. This, you notice the outfit is the same outfit as Flagrant. We did the podcast the same day, right? This is the timeline. Kendrick drops the bar in the song, right? He says, don't talk about black women, that's law, to white comedian. Then he tells people to slide on the black dudes close to him. Alex and Charlemagne is what I interpret. So basically kill his black friends, right? Death threats to them, death threats to me.
And I was getting death.
Of course, death threats to Charlemagne. Death threats to me, death threats to my family, telling they're gonna kill my daughter, posting on my daughter's
We
picture.
still haven't posted in that.
We haven't talked, I don't talk about it for 2 weeks, right? I go, okay, you saying death threats to all of us? You gonna talk about my daughter? Okay, it's up. I'm gonna fuck your man. Right? Because if we saying anything, it's like, let's have some fun.
It's still funny.
I'm a fucking man.
It's still funny.
Right?
Consensual love.
So you say the shit, you say kill my friends, and then all of your fans come out, not all of them, but fans come out, they give death threats to all of us, they're talking shit about my 10-month-old daughter, right? Saying they're gonna kill her. And then I go, I'm gonna make sweet love to Kendrick, and now all of a sudden all the fans are like, how could you do that? Oh, you're taking it too far. Jokes are not funny. Yeah, we should murder your family and everything like that, and that's really fun. But oh my God, they're like clutching their fucking pearls, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, hold up, how did you become the victim again? He really is the Taylor Swift of hip hop. Like, Taylor is the biggest artist in the world. She's still the victim somehow. She's the victim with Scooter. Yeah. She's the victim with her boyfriend. She's the victim with the labels. Kendrick, the exact same thing. He's the biggest rapper right now. Destroyed Drake. Can't talk about Kendrick without saying it. No, he destroyed Drake in the battle. He's number one, and somehow still he's the victim that he started.
Yeah, Kendrick being the Taylor Swift of hip-hop is funny as fuck, but Schultz said several times that he doesn't think it's coming from Kendrick's team. It's mostly his fans doing all the shit-talking and spreading the misinformation. And like I said before, all this does is make Schultz look like the good guy because people are taking the things he said out of context, and he's not afraid to call them out. It all feeds into his ongoing narrative that he's on the verge of being cancelled, and if you don't support his free speech, then you're next. Don't forget, guys like Andrew Schultz are the last line of defense against censorship. If they go down, it's World War III. So make sure you're stocked up on elk meat, alpha brain, and AG1. Thank him, B. But the clip he was talking about there was from the last episode of Brilliant Idiots that dropped last weekend, which was actually recorded on the same day as last week's episode of Flagrant. That's where the confusion is coming from. And if you guys want to have a laugh, stick around because I'm going to show you Charlemagne pretending to see the clip with the guys from Shits and Gigs for the first time. His acting is fucking terrible. It's like watching a toddler lying about shitting his pants when everyone can smell it. And so this is where Schultz actually got pretty angry about the threats towards his family, and it explains why he got so mad and went so hard at Kendrick. Remember, this was recorded before anyone had seen the episode of Flagrant where he declared his weird-ass desires for Kendrick.
Some of the Kendrick stans have been posting shit, like telling me they're gonna take out my family on like pictures of my child, my daughter.
God.
You surprised by this? This is the nature of the game.
Yeah, social media.
Yeah, it's social media. It's like, but he says that line.
like-
He says that line. His parent, his friend, some of his fans. The majority of his fans don't do anything. The majority of his fans are just like they like hip hop. They think he's a great musician. But the most extreme ones, on a picture of my 8-month baby, are going, "You better take security everywhere because I'm coming for your whole family." And this is like multiple.
Crazy.
So to me, that person, I don't blame Kendrick. We can't control what our fans do. But that person, I go, you're talking about my kid, man. Like, I have to screenshot you, know who you are, and if I ever see you,
you can't play with it. Yeah, you can't play with it. No, I'm with you. 100%. That's why I don't feel no remorse.
I feel no remorse. Like, yo, you talked about someone's child, bro.
So it turns out it wasn't just about comedy for Schultz, and this is why comedy podcasting has turned to shit. It's no longer just about the jokes. Schultz was clearly offended by all the hate towards his friends and family, so he hit back with a joke about SA. I can imagine Rogan sitting on his couch at home, relaxing with a bowl of popcorn, feet not touching the ground, seeing a clip of Schultz complaining about all the hate and saying out loud, "Shouldn't have read the comments, bro," while kicking his feet in the air. Comedians these days are so overexposed and they don't realize that they're giving us a behind-the-scenes look into just how sensitive and volatile they really are. And the allegations against Schultz by an ex-girlfriend paint a pretty ugly picture of what he's like behind closed doors. If they're true, that is. But you could tell that all this shit coming up again really got under his skin.
But now they make it racist. They try to make me a Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
This was hilarious.
It's like,
no, this we gotta talk.
Oh,
This was next level. So one of my exes, she has been turning 29 for the last 5 years. I don't know if it's because Hollywood isn't great to people that are trying to make it and they're in their 30s or whatever. But they looked at the ages and they're like, "Oh, she's 29 years old still," and they're like, "Oh, she must have been 16 when they're dating." I go, 16? I go, I was on 5 shows on MTV when we were dating. How the f am I in a public relationship with a 16-year-old? I go, look, there's her on X Factor saying she's 23. And I'm like, wait a minute, this girl's lying about her age. They believed the lie. Now they're posting it trying to turn me into pedophile. So the Kendrick fans are just going.
That's great.
Yeah.
Mind you, she is black. So they're calling you a racist and your ex-girlfriend was a black girl.
I'm a racist and I'm a pedophile. I'm a racist and I'm a pedophile.
Yeah. Yeah, tough week.
Yeah. I sat back and I was like, let me see what they're going to throw out. Because I know that they're going to go crazy. Once I did the thing on the pod, once we did the Flagrant episode, I was like, I know they're going to go crazy. I was like, I'm sitting back. I'm going to see. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at me. I already know. And I was like, all right, let's see what they got. They start throwing out everything. Oh, he's racist, of course. That's the first thing they're obviously going to go to. Then they do the pedophilia. I'm like, all right, yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, good. Bullshit. Community note hit them real quick on that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Elon, bro. That came in clutch. That was fire.
All right, so Schultz is talking about his ex-girlfriend, Sarah Phillips, who was born in 1995. They dated around 2014 to 2015 when she was 19 to 20 years old, and Schultz was around 31 to 32. But because she'd publicly lied about her age to seem younger, people thought they dated when she was 16. That still seems kind of fucked up to me, but it's the actual allegations that she made herself on Instagram that caught me off guard because Schultz only refuted the age gap. He didn't say anything about the actual abuse allegations. This is what she said back in December 2020. For years, I was manipulated, controlled, and abused by him. The verbal abuse was constant. I was isolated from my friends. If I wore makeup that he thought was too much, he'd wipe it off my face in public. He'd force me to change before leaving the house if he thought my outfit would get too much attention. Once, after being sick for weeks without explanation, I found out that he'd been using my toothbrush to clean the bottom of his shoes. To this day, I can't make sense of that kind of sickness. On another occasion, on vacation in Aruba, his anger got so out of control that I had to hide from him in the hotel bathroom with the door locked. Soon after, I began having panic attacks almost every night. There are other things that happened during this relationship that I will probably never talk about for the rest of my life. As happy and healthy as I feel in my very fortunate life now, seeing this person's face, hearing their voice, seeing their name is still very triggering. Maybe it'll always be. I don't know. But I just ask you to please try to understand that it's not a funny joke to keep sending me things related to this person. Please stop. Please try to understand. So Schultz's response to that was, nah, she wasn't 16, she was 19. Bro, what the fuck? What about everything else in there? Using your girlfriend's toothbrush to clean the bottom of your shoes? Now, I don't know if what she's saying is true or not, but that has to be the most Andrew Schultz thing I've ever heard. And that line, there are other things that happened during this relationship that I will never probably talk about for the rest of my life. I don't know. I kind of feel like there's more to this than just a dispute over her age at the time. What is with all these guys and allegations? No wonder Brendan Schaub is pushing the whole beast of a baseball dad narrative so hard. Bro's getting ahead of the allegations. But unproven allegations aside, Schultz does have a point about all the hypocrisy from his attackers. Everyone's trying to play the victim card while their skeletons are banging on the closet door.
And then Ice Cube's son tries to post some shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I just put right under it. I'm like, why don't you look up Google No Vaseline by your dad? And now he's in the comments explaining himself. Well, technically that was a joke. It was a metaphor. It wasn't a real thing that was actually going to happen. I'm like, oh, really? Is that it?
Yeah. He must not have heard it in a while because those aren't all metaphors.
No, there's some.
Yeah.
It's like MC Ren's dick tastes like the shit in Easy's ass or something.
Talking about sticking a broom up somebody's ass. Like, how do you make that into a metaphor? I don't know.
The broom was actually really the oppression that black people had to endure from the record industry. No, it's just crazy to see it happen. And then to see people jumping on the narratives. The only thing that annoyed me was that one that they tried to push out, DL, and then I guess Jasmine Brand tried to push out, because they tried to make it seem like I was being a victim after what I said. They said that to me and you and Charla, and I was like, it's up then. If y'all want to go there, we could go there.
Yep.
And I promise that you're not comfortable there.
Yeah.
And the second I went there, what happened? This is too far. You can't make jokes about unless, of course, you're making them about people that we think it's funny. Unless, of course, you're every TV show. Unless, of course, it's like literally everything they brought up. They brought up this clip of Cat Williams going, is never funny. And then literally Friday after next, he's in a scene where he's about to get
Yeah.
He's like, what, you pee on me?
Yeah.
And I posted that scene. It's like, come on.
This all goes back to what Andrew was saying earlier, how most of this isn't coming from Kendrick or his team, it's coming from clout chasers trying to jump on the victim bandwagon. But if you guys haven't seen Charlemagne pretending to see the original clip for the first time on Brilliant Idiots, you are in for a laugh. This is fucking great, right? So keep this in mind as you're watching the next clip. It was recorded last week on the same day as the previous Flagrant episode, supposedly weeks after Schultz, Alex, and Charlemagne had been receiving death threats and were being called out by Kendrick's fans and people in the hip-hop industry. Apparently, though, Charlemagne didn't think to actually watch the clip until now.
I've never seen this clip. Let's play it.
know
just
about
glow
this.
up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time. That's why they got to shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
They grow a beard
they step
because
their dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the out. That's what
Alex going crazy.
That's not me. That's the other guy.
I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
No, keep
wow.
playing.
Okay. What's your favorite?
He said what?
No, keep playing.
Keep playing.
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh, really? We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets
That means what?
Hey, let me get the US translation.
Kendrick fans? Get him!
They cut the best
You
part,
say
but-
Kendrick
I never seen this
fans.
before.
Well, at the very, very end, he says, Kendrick fans, get him.
Oh, I did not know you said that.
Oh, my little rascals hurt.
No, wait a minute. Time out.
I didn't know my little rascals hurt.
Time out.
Hey, Kendrick.
Stop with the lap jokes. That's not funny.
My little rascals hurt.
The black jokes. That's a black joke?
I said the lap jokes. He keep acting like he a little kid. Sit on my lap.
Oh,
Rascal.
listen.
He's my little kid.
I've never heard this clip. Right? I've never heard this clip. But I can't believe.
This is one of the best.
I know.
I can't believe. I can't believe that y'all have heard this clip before and just realizing him saying Kendrick's name is probably the reason Kendrick said what he said on the record. I've never heard this clip before.
I never heard you say Kendrick at the end.
You've never heard?
I didn't hear
Really?
Kendrick at the end.
I said that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught that, but Charlemagne hadn't seen that clip. And fuck me dead, that is the fakest reaction I've ever seen. The squinting at the screen while trying not to bust out laughing was next level. And basically the whole comment section on that episode was calling him out. Charlemagne doing his best amnesia bit to save himself. Next he's going to say he's never even met Schultz. It's cringy how Charlemagne loves to act like he doesn't know what's going on. Charlemagne saying he's never ever heard Schultz make jokes about black women. Charlemagne playing dumb is pretty disappointing. This was so hard to watch. The cringe is too much. This whole thing is one big circus now. Basically, everybody involved looks like a hypocrite, and the more mud they throw, the deeper their hole gets. They're all playing the victim card in their own way, when the reality is, we are the ones who are the victims of cringe. But those allegations against Schultz from his ex-girlfriend a few years ago are pretty fucked up. It sounded like she just wanted to leave it and move on, so I doubt we'll hear anything more about it. That seems to be how these things go. Nobody knows what really happened, and then it'll come up again in a few years when there's another Schultz controversy. Don't be mistaken though, Andrew will use this whole situation as a marketing tool for his upcoming comedy special. He recorded it a couple of weeks back and he's currently in the edit, so expect a full-blown fear-mongering campaign in the lead up to its release. Hopefully this time though, he doesn't try to scam his fans again, but I think this one's coming out on a streaming service, so it'll be interesting to see what fake controversy he thinks up this time around. Anyway, make sure you go and check out the link in the description to my Patreon if you're interested in my longer form uncensored content. While you're here though, hit the subscribe button and make sure you give me a thumbs up if you ended up liking this video. Thanks for watching guys, I'll catch you in the next one.
The worst DM I got was somebody who was like, yo, I hope you have a horrible Christmas.
Why would Dub DM you that, bro? That's so crazy that he would do that. And you wore this jacket today in protest. That is so crazy. Before we get to that, can I just say that I might have been wrong about Seinfeld, yo. I might have been wrong about Seinfeld.
Did he say something nice about you on a podcast?
No, not at all. Despite him being very rude to me.
I've never met him.
He'll let you down. I met him once.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't like him.
Yeah. It's not even his real last name.
What's his real last name?
He's something not Jewish. He's not even Jewish.
All the reason to like him
Seinfeld
more.
pretends to be Jewish. You don't know that?
That just makes me love him more.
Seinfeld's not actually Jewish.
An insincere compliment is just as nice. I don't care if they're lying to my face. It doesn't matter what they think anyway.
What the f are you talking about? This is ridiculous.
Alright guys, welcome back. There's a lot going on here, so I'm going to get straight into it. As you may have heard, over the weekend, Jerry Seinfeld made the commencement address at Duke University, and a bunch of students staged a walkout citing his support for the IDF and the Israeli government in general. But Jerry's also been on a publicity tour for his new Netflix movie titled Unfrosted, which is about the origin of Pop-Tarts. So through the commencement speech and all the interviews he's doing, for a guy who's usually quite private and lets his work do all the talking, he's been getting quite a bit of attention. And this is where Andrew Schulz comes in. Our boy Schultzy has been quite vocal over the years about how he thinks Jerry Seinfeld is overrated and untalented, but now, all of a sudden, Schulz has taken a liking to him and even started to defend him this week. So I'm going to take you through Schultz's emotional arc with Jerry and explain exactly why he's changed his mind. I'm going to take you through a couple of the highlights from Jerry's commencement speech and show you Schultz's reaction to it. We'll also take a look at a couple of clips from Jerry's recent appearance on Bill Maher's podcast, and we'll also hear from Papa Rogan. Like I said, guys, there's a lot happening here, but before we go through everything, I want to give you the underlying point here that I'm trying to make, so you're not going into this blindly. If you're new to this channel, one of the things that my regulars and I dedicate a lot of time to is calling out the hypocrisy of the podcast elites and exposing their lies and contradictions. And one of the things that we've noticed is how Rogan and his buddies are slowly becoming what they always used to criticize. They started out by pitching themselves as an alternative to mainstream media, where they were looser in their conversations. It was a lot more casual and uncensored, which made it easier to watch and listen to. But slowly, as they found fame and bags and bags and bags of money, they began to replace the establishment media and they created their own version of the elite. Their podcast became corporatized, they began to brag about their excessive lifestyles, and they talked down to their fans who called them out for being douchey. They're the living embodiment of the saying, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And so Andrew Schultz's backflip on Jerry Seinfeld this week is the perfect example on this. But first, let me show you how all of this started.
Why do they even make the end of the bread? If we don't use it, just stop the bread.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Isn't that
You've been bringing up great points and acting like that's a regular Seinfeld bit. I'm like, yo, that's a fucking banger.
Yeah. Seinfeld's whole act. I'll write Seinfeld
It's
right
great
now.
points?
Right now. Just right now, like this. Boom.
Trash. Seinfeld's trash.
Why do they call it air? Air can't jump.
Nah.
That's Seinfeld, son. That's
I didn't even get it.
Air's just up there. What's the deal? Why do you warm up, not warm down?
Yes. Oh, whoa. Seinfeld's a living legend.
Why is it warm? That is such a Seinfeld type. We call it warm up, but then we call it cool down. But heat rises. Oh, that actually makes sense. It's not even his real last name.
What's his real last name?
Not something. Something not Jewish. He's not even Jewish.
What? All the reason to like him more.
Seinfeld pretends to be Jewish. You don't know that?
That just makes me love him more.
Seinfeld's not actually Jewish.
So this is way back in 2020, just before Schulz really started to blow up, and his criticisms of Jerry were centered around how formulaic and vanilla his comedy was, which, to be honest, is a pretty fair criticism. I've always been a massive fan of the TV show Seinfeld, but his actual stand-up comedy, it always came across as a little bit forced and overly performative, which doesn't necessarily make it bad, but I wouldn't go as far as to call him trash like Schulz just did. But you could also sense some bitterness coming from Andrew, perhaps due to the fact that he hadn't really found his stride yet. He was just starting to make some real money from stand-up comedy and podcasting, and compared to Jerry with his predictable vanilla comedy, Schulz felt like Jerry's fame and fortune wasn't deserving.
You like Seinfeld? Like
I
as a
do.
stand-up?
Yeah, I'm a big Seinfeld guy.
You don't think he's wildly overrated?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he started in '79. What do you want him to be? Like, I'm sorry, he's not your
Eddie.
He was before Eddie. I'm sorry, he's not exactly what you want him to be.
He needs to be exactly what I want to be. You know, the OGs I love. Like, I miss that.
Potentially, he's been so famous forever. I think he's like, dude, he's awesome. Like his specials are doing really good. I mean, created Seinfeld is my favorite show of all time. Like, it's the best show. That's insane.
So overrated,
dude.
bro.
That's
so
you're
overrated.
Crazy. He's kind of the king.
He's also a billionaire, so you're asking him to not be pretentious when he's a billionaire comedian. He's a comedy.
I know. I'm like harder on him for some reason. Maybe it's because he's so successful. And
You're the next New York comic. It's okay. If there's
I'm
one
just like
before you.
I don't know. Like
he's like the king, dude. Once Cosby was out, that's the guy.
Really?
Yeah, so like Akash just said there, Jerry's basically a billionaire, which would make him one of the most financially successful comedians in history. Next to Joe Rogan, Kevin Hart, Adam Sandler, Ellen DeGeneres, the list goes on, even though none of these comedians made their fortunes strictly from stand-up comedy. And I think that's what bothers comedians like Schultz so much about Jerry Seinfeld. He really was one of the first to make his fortune from being identified as a stand-up comic. He played himself in the TV show, which was a single stand-up comic from New York. Now, sure, Eddie Murphy was a well-known comedian, but he made most of his money from movies. Same with Kevin Hart in recent years. Ellen got rich from her now cancelled talk show. So when it comes to stand-up comedy, Jerry Seinfeld was probably one of the most recognizable in that genre throughout the 90s. And did I mention how rich he is?
Warren Littlefield wrote that if you would have given him another season of Seinfeld, he would have paid you $110 million for the year. $110 million.
I could have got more than that.
Yeah, when you do the math, it gets kind of crazy. Not to mention the fact that this was 25 years ago, nobody was earning over $100 million a year for a TV show. But for Schultz, it got worse than that. It wasn't just Jerry's money and fame that bothered him, it also got personal.
Do you guys have like a thing? You guys have like a tour? Or
I've never
like
met
that?
him. I would love to meet him. I've never met him.
He'll let you down. I met him once.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
I hope we just talk about you the whole time.
Yeah, we did.
If I meet, no, I'm saying when I meet Seinfeld, he goes, what about Andrew Schultz? I was like, I know, right? Like, I'll have to defend you to him. Now that's what he does, dude. He wears those shoes. He goes to like, I'll have to get.
He wears the shoes.
I know. I would like to defend you to him. What if he gets just rails on you the whole time? And I'm like, no, dude,
there's no
great.
way Seinfeld knows who I am.
You're two New York dudes.
Yeah, Schultz is in his feelings over the time he met Jerry 15 years ago, and we actually saw how annoyed Schultz gets when famous comedians don't know who he is. There was that time when Rogan was telling Chappelle about Andrew's PowerPoint presentations on YouTube during the pandemic, and Chappelle basically said, look, good luck to him, but that's not stand-up, that's not what I do.
But that's not, like you say, that's not stand-up.
No.
Like this thing that you're describing, God bless him.
Yeah.
That's not what I do.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
So it seems like Schultz is a little bit sensitive about his place in the stand-up comedy world, but in Schultz's defense, Seinfeld is known for being arrogant and dismissive of the people around him. And it's strange, you know, I spoke about this before in one of my earlier videos about Rogan versus Seinfeld, and some of you didn't agree with me, but for some reason, I feel like Jerry's arrogance kinda suits him in a weird way. And I'll show you exactly what I mean in a minute, but just keep this in mind as we move on. Jerry was 44 years old when his famous TV show ended in 1998. Andrew Schultz is 40 years old now. Tom Segura is 45 years old. So give or take a few years, when you compare them, Jerry had reached the height of his fame and career as a comedian around the same age as guys like Schultz and Segura are now. So Jerry made it big when he was quite young, at least in comedy years.
When you would go on Larry King, that was always so great.
Yeah, I love that.
It was great. That show, don't you think there's a hole for that show?
I think it's Joe Rogan. I think what? You just put your hands up like...
What I'm getting at is I thought special about that show was it was 9 o'clock. Every night at 9 o'clock, Larry King was going to be sitting with someone who could probably be of interest.
Yes.
And that was a great TV. That was great TV. The set I thought I loved the multicolored dots, the blackness. You know, not like he was the greatest interview in the world, but he was good.
Well, that's why I compared him to Joe Rogan, because they're both minimalists. Both of them do zero research by their own admission.
Right.
Like, I think Joe would say the same thing Larry said. I want to be the audience. I want to be the guy who knows nothing about you.
I know, but he's on for 3.5 hours. Larry King is, it's on at 9. You're wandering around the house. You're looking for something to do. Who's on Larry King?
Right.
That was a great thing. I can't believe they haven't tried to replace that. It's not a coincidence that they're there, all these guys, whether politically, entertainment industry, corporate world. A lot of people are there for a reason.
But I feel like a late night host is always a reflection of the society that we live in, better than a lot of other signposts. I mean, like, that's why Leno was right for his era, and Johnny was right for his error.
And what do we have now? We have Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert,
yes,
and Jimmy Fallon.
I think are right for their error.
In that.
Why, look at this. Here's
new breed of stand-up comics. What's that?
Oh, these are the two articles that were in the New York Times.
Am I in any of those?
You probably are.
I think that's a really good example of Jerry's arrogance, and for some reason, it doesn't bother me. I think it kind of suits him. Now, I'm probably too young to talk about the differences between old school late night and the current breed, but one thing I know for sure without any doubt is that the current breed are absolute dogshit. I miss Letterman. Anyway, like I said earlier in the video, Jerry's currently doing a publicity tour for his Netflix movie called Unfrosted, and I think it's funny to see Jerry being forced to do the rounds to promote it. He's 70 years old, he's a billionaire, he's probably motivated to do the movie to help out the comedy community and keep himself busy at the same time. And so even though he's trying to be conversational, every now and then he drops an arrogant take which catches people off guard.
You know what I came to the other day? Because I'm going through this thing with the movie, and you're doing a lot of press, and they're watching the movie and they're responding to it, and hit me the other morning. An insincere compliment is absolutely of equal value as a totally genuine compliment. There is no difference in value. They're both utterly meaningless and just as nice. An insincere compliment is just as nice. I don't care if they're lying to my face. But it doesn't matter what they think anyway.
What the f*** are you talking about? This is ridiculous. Like, I gave you a very wonderful compliment, I think, and it came from me, and it's very sincere, and it's true about you. That's got to mean more than an insincere compliment.
Not in that situation where you're meeting strangers and they're saying, "Oh, I loved your movie." Great. That's great. That's just as great. I don't have to know. Really? Did you really?
Give me that rabbit thing back.
A compliment from you who knows me.
That's what I'm saying.
That's different.
Oh, okay.
That's different.
I hope so.
I'm talking about 90% of the things people tell you in show business are not true and not sincere.
Of course.
And that's okay. Take what you like, whatever you like. What do I care what you like?
All right, then why do you keep arguing when I say you're more mature than you have?
I like to argue.
I know, good.
I don't even believe what I'm taking.
We're not even arguing.
So Jerry's settling quite nicely into his boomer years, and in a strange way, there's a lot of truth to the weird things he says, and this is how Schultz has magically found a common ground with Jerry now and decided to finally bury his beef, which Jerry never had any idea about, but it came down to his commencement speech at Duke. This was Schultz backpedaling this week and throwing his support behind Jerry.
Before we get to that, can I just say that I might have been wrong about Seinfeld, yo. I might have been wrong about Seinfeld.
Did he say something nice about you on a podcast?
No, not at all. But despite him being very rude to me, at our one chance encounter, could have had a horrible day. You know what I mean? He just could have had a bad day. A lot of things go on in people's days.
Well, it's recent. This is pretty recent, right?
It's pretty recent. It's like 15 years. So, whatever. But despite that, I'm like, listen, everybody deserves a second chance. He deserves a second chance. And then Seinfeld did this commencement speech for Duke, and there's a bunch of these kids walking out because there's a Jew on stage, which is crazy. Which is really crazy. Yeah. And it's funny that all these people felt this way about Jews probably October 6th, but they were too pussy to say anything about it, and they're almost like using October 7th. As a way to just be anti-Semite. The people who've been consistent throughout the whole time, I'm not critical of them. You have an opinion, maybe we agree or disagree on it, but you've always felt this way and you took the heat for feeling this way. You took it. The other people, they were too much of a fucking coward. They were too much of bitches to actually take the heat. They were like really quiet. They're like, I'm not going to say anything because what will the people on Twitter say? Maybe I'll lose followers. Maybe people won't watch my show. They were too pussy to share their opinions. All of a sudden now that there's views in it, now that there's clicks in it, now that there's ad revenue in it, now that the numbers are up, now you're talking about it? Nah, you're a grifting. You're a grifting.
Imagine Andrew Schultz calling out people for being grifters because they're jumping on the latest trends and pretending to have hot takes. I made a video last week about Schultz having an epiphany and discovering what grifting actually is, and so I think maybe it's his word of the month or something and he just likes saying it. But like I said in that video, the way Schultz describes grifting almost exactly describes himself to a T. I want to take a look at Jerry's commencement speech though, and then show you Schultz's reaction, because the things that resonated with him really do say a lot about how much he's changed and how much he's becoming more and more like Jerry.
I have truly spent my life focusing on the smallest things imaginable, completely oblivious to all the big issues of living. Find something where you love the good parts and don't mind the bad parts too much. The torture you're comfortable with. This is the golden path to victory in life. Work, exercise, relationships, they all have a solid component of pure torture, and they are all 1,000% worth it. The only two things you ever need to pay attention to in life are work and love. Things that are self-justified in the experience, and who cares about the result. Stop rushing to what you perceive as some valuable endpoint. Learn to enjoy the expenditure of energy that may or may not be on the correct path. About work, you know how they always say nobody ever looks back on their life and wishes they spent more time at the office? Well, why? Why don't they? Guess what? Depends on the job. If you took a stupid job that you find out you hate and you don't leave, that's your fault. Don't blame work. Work is wonderful. I definitely will not be looking back on my life wishing I worked less. If that's not how you feel at work, quit. On your lunch break, disappear. Make people go, what happened to that guy? I don't know, he said he was getting something to eat, never came back. The other thing I see going on that throws a lot of people off these days is thinking, I've got to make as much money as I can. I personally believe the real game is I want to have the coolest job. When I started out as a comedian, I did not think I was funny. I thought I'm a little funny. Maybe I wouldn't have to be that funny. I just have to be funny enough to feed one person. And I could do that with a loaf of Wonder Bread and a jar of peanut butter. I just wanted to have this super cool job. And cool is a word not easily defined. It's really just whatever you think is cool. So just go for what you think is the coolest. Money will be made eventually, somehow. Try not to think about it so much. I see this messing people up a lot. Put it to the side a little. Don't think about having, think about becoming. Having is fine, but focus on becoming. That is where it's at.
Oh man, I'm so done listening to billionaires and millionaires telling us to stop worrying about money and just to work hard, and if you don't like your job, just quit, you'll figure it out. Try not to focus on having stuff, says the guy with a car collection of over 150 exotic cars. Jerry has the same exact Porsche in different colors. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, huh? But finally for Schultz, now that he's part of the rich comedy elite, he can finally relate to what Jerry was saying.
Anyway, his speech was actually really good.
Yeah.
I thought his speech was really cool. Maybe there's like a... My wife sent it to me on TikTok, but I'm sure there's like a longer version of it. But
Yeah,
he just talked about like the three things in life that he's... his three like lessons for life. And I thought they were really good. So yeah, maybe I was wrong.
I basically said though, like,
I'm willing to forgive him if he apologizes. You know what I mean? I'm willing to forgive him if he apologizes for that thing that he has no clue that he did 15 years ago. But I thought what was really interesting is falling in love with these little things.
Yeah.
And how valuable that can be and how much joy can come to your life from that.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to just focus on the biggest things that are happening in the world. What are the biggest issues? What do I need to get done? What should I care about when there are things that we absolutely love right in front of us that might make no sense to anybody else, but those things are going to end up bringing us maybe equal joy, maybe more joy. The other thing I loved was just working hard. Like,
yeah, and swing the bat.
Yeah, even if you don't know what you're doing, just work hard and fucking take the chance and swing. And it was great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was good. It was, and also looking at the things you have as a privilege.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, it's still him forever.
No, no.
You know, because he did something to me.
You're
that
being
was
so
rude.
anti-Semitic.
I know, yeah.
Why the hell do you hate this guy just because he's a Jewish kid from Brooklyn?
I mean,
what's wrong with you, bro?
Now, don't get me wrong, I agree that you should work hard and be grateful for what you have, take chances in life, don't play it safe, take a risk, swing the bat, But why is it that all the guys preaching about these things are either Nepo babies or struck it lucky and got rich in the absence of any real hard work? I mean, most of us are working hard, most of us are taking risks, we're swinging the bat every day, but statistically we can't all make it big and become millionaire comedy podcasters. That's the point I'm trying to make here. When these guys were still coming up, they used to hate Jerry and they were bitter because he was so rich and successful. But when they achieve their own fame and fortune, all of a sudden they start preaching the same empty platitudes. Remember when Rogan was telling The Rock how he realized when he got his first big paycheck that the secret to happiness is not being poor?
I realized when I was young, I got a development deal for Disney when I was, I think I was 25, 26. And I got this development deal, and all of a sudden they gave me like, I think it was like $100,000. And I had money in the bank. I was like, this is crazy. All of a sudden I had money. Like my whole life I was poor. And my whole life I was like wondering how I was going to, when I was on my own, and it was like, how am I paying the bills? How am I eating? But then the moment I got that check, I remember feeling light. Yeah. Like weight had been lifted off me. Like now I didn't have to worry about my rent. Now I didn't have to worry about food. And I remember thinking immediately, oh, this is the key. You just got to not get to a place where you're not worried about your bills. If that means like spend less money, if that means like live a more prudent lifestyle, whatever you have to do. So then I was like, okay, now the most important thing is keep going. Yeah. Like make sure you don't lose any ground here and keep going, because now you know what it's like to be successful. Continue that. Do whatever the you have to do, whatever work you have to put in to continue that. Yeah. And then when I got to a place where I felt like I have enough money that I feel really secure, then I started to learn how to be happy. Brian Count said something to me once, and I never forgot it. He said, and we were kids. We were in our 20s. He said, the only amount of money you need is so that you can go to a restaurant and not care what things cost. Everything else is bullshit. If you got enough money, we can go to a restaurant, you don't worry. Just order a bottle of wine, order meat, order whatever you want to eat. You don't have to think about the price. He goes, that's real freedom. I experienced that leap, that jump, when I got a development deal. So I was like, I guess I was 25, 26 maybe, 25. And I got this development deal from Disney. And it was like $150,000, and I couldn't believe it. I had $150,000. This is nuts. And I felt like a physical weight lift over my shoulders.
So I get what Rogan's saying there. It's nice to be able to go out and have a nice dinner and a bottle of wine and not have to worry about how much the bill is, but to say that's true freedom is just wild. True freedom is not having to worry about your rent or your bills, your healthcare, etc. I would take that freedom over a steak and a red wine any day. And this is where I wanted to get to with you guys in this video. All of these guys were meant to be the alternative to the elite establishment, but they're so far removed from reality now, especially Rogan. I mean, he's been independently wealthy since his mid-20s. Now he's preaching ice baths and saunas, TRT, HGH, dozens of vitamins, 2-hour morning routines. I don't think he realizes how unattainable all of that is for his average viewer, and his solution is just get money. I mean, he literally said, find a way to get money and you'll start to be happy. If that's not the most boomer take ever, then I'm fucking Santa Claus. I mean, seriously. Remember last week when Bert Kreischer was telling us about how he started channeling his goals into the universe so he could manifest buying a new house? And his producers laughed at him for saying buying a house was a small goal. And after all that crap that Tom Segura went through over the last couple of years with the pause and the airport meltdowns and telling his angry fans to change their attitude so they can pay their rent, he thought it would be a good idea to post this video yesterday. These guys just don't get it, and it seems like they never will. Just when you think they've turned a corner and started to make changes, they prove you wrong and double down on their hypocrisy, and don't even get me started on Brendan Business Shark Schaub. So when Schultz tries to call out all these grifters for jumping on the latest trends and monetizing drama for a profit, he really needs to take a look in the mirror and realize that he's describing himself. And as for his emotional arc with Jerry Seinfeld, it's so predictable that after his continuous rise, Schultz is starting to agree more and more with Jerry. The difference is, like I've been saying, Jerry's old school. He's 70 years old now, and even though he's got boomer life advice, he still has his charm about him that Rogan and his buddies don't seem to be able to grasp. You'll see what I mean in the closing clip I have for you guys right at the end of this video. I'm getting pretty sick and tired of rich comedians telling us to work harder and not worry so much about money. But on the other hand, work hard and get money so you can be happy. And the best one is just be grateful for what you have. I remember when comedians used to be funny. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and remember to check out my Patreon via the link below if you're interested in additional uncensored content. Otherwise, if you're not a regular of this channel, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you ended up enjoying this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
By the way, drink? You don't drink? Or you just have
I
coffee?
drink, but it's a little early, and I'm driving.
It is. Oh, you're driving. You drove yourself.
Yeah.
What a stud.
Yeah.
But we know how you feel about cars.
Yeah, I drove an old Mercedes-Benz diesel here.
I mean, that level of car, I mean, I guess Jay has it too.
Level of car enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't either.
I don't like to, I know it's not of any interest, but...